It's your boy DJ Benny Bladez. Welcome to the second episode of Bladez and Friends. This week I got my dude Leo Tillett on in the building.
What up?
What's good, my dude?
Chilling, man.
Just gonna shout out my sponsors real quick. I got A Plus Auto Services in Cranston, Rhode Island, 401-280-1264. They do custom car audio, window tints, lift kits, rims and tires, electrical diagnostics. Shout out to Jen Wilson at Illis Ink Tattoo in Pawtucket, 401-475-4259. They do piercing tattoos. They display local artists' work. Also, KPJ Carpentry out of Cumberland, 401-525-8606. He does finished work, remodeling, decks. Shout out to Nico's Chicken and Pizza in Uxbridge, Mass, 508-278-5055. They got banging ass roasted chicken and pizza. And then finally, shout out to APB Vapes in Cranston. They got a spot in Cranston, Cumberland, and Thayer Street, the newest spot. They're a full-service vape shop. They got a full line of house e-liquid, the latest mods and pod systems, replacement pods, premium e-liquids, apparels, and the best service around. The new spot, Thayer Street, the number's 401-272-0972. So anyways, welcome to my show. This is my dude right here. I actually just personally met recently. I met him because I did a shoot for my business cards with one of his top photographers. Shout out Cole Harper. Shit came out really dope. We did it at his studio in Pawtucket, and I got to meet him. And then we talked about me DJing his actual grand opening for his studio, which was last week. So I was lucky enough to be able to do that. With him and all his gorgeous models that were in the building. Shout out to all of you. So yeah, man, that was a great night. Yeah, you're a cool ass dude, and I wanted you to come on and tell your story, and I really appreciate that you came.
No doubt, man. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. So let's start off with where did you grow up?
Man, I grew up on the South Side.
Ooh, South Side.
You know what I mean.
I was in the joint with a lot of Southside heads.
Shit was tough, man.
Yeah.
You know, grew up in the 80s, the middle of the crack boom.
All right.
You know, crack was king then. It was destroying everything. The community was a mess. One of the poorest neighborhoods, poorest streets.
What street was it?
Mount Vernon, man.
Okay.
Yeah, right off Glenham.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, shit was terrible, man. It was horrible. And, man, growing up was just like kind of like survival of the fittest, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, back then, man, it was like a different time. It was a different era.
Yeah,
you know?
that was way before the internet.
Yeah. You know,
internet.
You stayed outside till the lights came on.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
then you had to come back inside because that's when all the fiends came out.
Oh yeah.
You know, you got caught up in the wrong crowd and that was it, man. That was it for you. You know what I mean? But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. Like,
yeah, because where you're from makes you who you are today.
Yeah.
And I'm sure going through that showed you that you want to not live like that when you get older. If you have kids, you don't want to raise your kids in those environments and shit like that. But, no, those places make some tough-ass people. And they're cool people, too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been in that neighborhood. And, you know, as long as you're cool, they're cool. But it definitely is the hood, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You do something stupid.
Yo, it's more than the hood, B.
Oh, I know.
I remember, like, wild shit. Like, you know, fiends used to be so coked out. You know, I remember they used to, like, hallucinate. You know what I mean? And, like, I remember just, like, sitting there, like, on the stoop and just watching fiends, like, fighting, like, all these, like, imaginary beings and stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
All right.
And, yo, the thing with crackheads, though, is crackheads live forever, B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, they got
like,
crackhead power.
The same crackhead that I saw, like, growing up when I was, like,
you
6
see
or
him,
7.
see him now.
You see him now, like,
still
it's like,
putting that work in.
Yo, you're still alive, like, yo, must be the phone of youth or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Crack. Kids, if you're watching, crack is not the fountain of youth,
It's not. It's just a joke, kids.
Yeah.
But,
all right, so that's where you grew up. So where did you go to school? You went to school out there too?
Yeah, I went to a variety of different schools, man. You know, I was fortunate enough. I had you know, I always had a talent for art, and I always had a talent for you know, I had a talent for reading. Like, you know what I mean? I was always a good reader, a good writer. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And so, like, teachers saw that, and I actually got shipped out to Fox Point. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so, for me, that was like.
What did your hood friends say about that?
Yo, they weren't too happy. You know what I mean?
That's like Tupac when he was going to art school and then he lived in the hood. Come home to the hood and his friends would probably just crack on him. Shakespeare, what?
You know what it was? Because then I went to Bishop for middle school, and but it was wild because like I would take the bus to Bishop, and like that was like. Literally like the first time I ever saw like actual homes. Oh wow. You know what I'm saying? With like trees and like yards and stuff like that. Yeah, wow. And Jesus. Like for me it was just like, damn, this is what the other half lives like. Yeah, wow. So every single day for like those 2-3 years that I was in that school, that was the only time I got to see anything that was nice. Wow. So for me growing up, it was just like I would always kind of see like these little snippets of like how the other half lives, and then you had to go back to like your reality. The hood, like, you know what I mean? That's and crazy. I mean, I know where I came from. My reality is government cheese. My reality is cockroaches in the OJ. Like, you know what I mean? My reality is like the Polites. You know what I'm saying?
That's why that song probably. Yeah, so I picked I had him pick a theme song. We were trying to play it, but YouTube gets all funny money style with you when you do that. But the song he picked was 260, right? 260 by Ghostface.
260 by Ghost.
Off the Iron Man album. No, it's another one on that one with Mary J. Blige, where he's talking about picking the roaches out of the cereal, some shit like that. I thought of that when you were saying that.
But that was reality though, man. And like, but like the thing is, man, is like that early on, that's what taught me like you could either be a victim of circumstance. Or you could like strive to do better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was always it. Like I never wanted to be a victim. You know what I mean? For me it was always like, how can I figure out how I can use my talents and the little bit of street smarts I had to get out of that.
Now, were you good at drawing growing up?
That's how I made my friends, my dude.
Oh, you know I used to draw too. My father's a painter, actually.
Yeah, that's what's up.
He doesn't do it for a living. Like he tries to. It's a tough racket.
It's a tough thing.
The toughest there is, but
yeah, I was always kind of like a small kid. I was always quiet, because like when you grow up in that type of environment, man, like,
dudes are aggressive.
Yeah, you just kind of like you either fall back and like just become like mad analytical. You know what I mean? And you figure people out because. Again, it's like, how do you survive? So I just learned like how to use my talents to like survive and like make friends and eventually like how to make money. You know what I mean? So for me now it's just like, how do I take what I've learned throughout the years, all the stuff I've been through, and just like do something positive with it. Yeah. Because.
That's dope. Yeah. So what was the first thing you would do? Photography wasn't first, right? No, it was being a painter. You said.
Yeah, I had a lot of really good people in my life, man.
Did you ever go to RISD or anything like that?
No, I always wanted to, man, but RISD was out of my price range. Wow. You know what I mean? So like low key, I was always like mad resentful towards like the other kids that got to go to RISD and like. Got to go to actually like, college right after high school and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. It took me a little bit to get myself into college and because I had to work to pay for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But so I started off as a graffiti artist. Oh wow. I still got like all my black books. So I started doing graffiti when I was like 11, 10, 11 years old, and I just kept on with that. When I was 12, my father got me a airbrush. So I started in the airbrushing business when I was like 12, 13. So I just used to sell T-shirts to the rest of the kids. Oh, yeah. When the
airbrush tees were in?
the Bugs Bunnies, the ties. Remember that with the sagging pants?
The 90s.
Yeah, that's when crisscross was big, man. Crisscross we're dating ourselves a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's when the music was like raw, real. Like, you know what I mean?
And who was your favorite artist back then? Who were you? So like Wu-Tang and
Yo, man, straight up, I used to listen to I don't know if you remember them, but Poor Righteous Teachers.
I remember them.
You know what I mean? NWA. I grew up with NWA. I grew up listening to Snoop Dogg. I remember when Snoop came out, it was just like I was like 12,
What,
you know,
the deep,
11,
the deep,
12
deep
years
cover
old.
jumper?
Oh man! But yo, you know what changed it? Yeah, what changed it for me though was when what changed it for me was when Wu and like Mobb Deep came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I remember I was on the cheese bus, you know, like getting ready to get shipped back to the South, and my boy Lawrence hands me this, you know, he hands me his Walkman or whatever. We had the tape playing. He had the Mobb Deep joint playing.
Which one? The Survival of the Fittest?
Survival of the Fit, yeah. So that joint's playing.
You could put that joint on tonight anywhere and it'll just shut any club down. Just probably start a riot.
Yo, music isn't made like that anymore.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
But then I got put onto ODB, and that put me on to the RZA.
What about Tupac? You never got into him?
You know, like, I don't know, man. Like, Tupac was always just one of those artists that I started listening to later on in life. You know what I mean? Like, right now, you know, like, I consider Tupac, like, I'm just discovering his discography. Jesus. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. It's great because I was so
you
loyal.
got a lot of stuff to dig through.
I was so loyal to, like, the Wu, like, you
and
know what
Biggie
I mean?
And shit.
Yeah, and, like, when
they were cool with Tupac, though.
Well, when Pac had beef with the East Coast, I kind of wrote him off.
Yeah, I mean? No, I know a lot of guys. Just Tupac was always my favorite, so I never took that personal. But I know a lot of East Coast heads did. They like fuck that.
And then he had beef with Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
So that was like the nail in the coffin for me. Like you know what I mean. And I just
actually put a diss record out that was Hard Body against them. Drop a Gem on them. That is a fucking monster.
That was on
Hell on Earth, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. So that joint, you know. So now I'm learning how to like just appreciate Pac, you know, as being like a poet. Yeah. Like that dude, man. The stuff he talked about, he was.
Really, if you really want to dig into know a lot about Tupac, and this goes for anyone, is watch his old interviews.
Yeah.
That dude was 25 when he died, and he's talking smarter than like 50-year-olds that have like been around their whole life. You'd be like, that dude was 24 when he did that, like talking about a black president and just like mind-boggling things that like even that's what I hate about rappers today is they don't talk about. I mean, some of them do, but
some of them cats, man, like
they be scared to like say anything that really matters. You know what I'm saying?
And,
There's
I'm not trying to sound like an old head, man, because like you know I gotta give it up to the the young bucks coming up now and like. You know, if you want to have rainbow hair, I do you. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that's the way you want to market yourself and you're making money at it, can I really hate on that? You know what I'm saying? Because I can't. Like,
he's got balls, that kid. But yeah, I don't like the rainbow hair.
It's not for me. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like a lot of the new age artists.
I like him more than I like Lil Uzi Vert because Lil Uzi Vert looks mad super duper feminine to me, and I can't.
Know, for me, it's like I don't really I listen to the music and like the quality of the music.
Yeah, that's true. Some of his songs were art, actually.
You know what I mean? And for me, it's like, you know, it kind of like puts a different perspective on things because like hip hop is one of those things. Like for me, like I'm hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop is a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
You know, hip hop just isn't music, man.
Especially if you used to do graffiti.
You know, it's being a b-boy. It's the way you dress. It's the way you talk. It's the way you walk. Yeah. It's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? And when you really embrace the 5 elements, like the music is just one of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like growing up, like embracing like the 5 elements and literally like living it. You know, the language, the vernacular, the language, everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could go anywhere, like to New York, to Florida, wherever, and you could be like, "Yo, what up, done?" And they know what you're saying.
I mean, there's literally a documentary on Netflix right now about how popular hip hop is in Italy.
Yeah, it's crazy, yo. Germany too, be.
What the?
You ever hear German artists?
No.
Yo, it's crazy, man.
So let's go back into your story. So you were a painter, and then how did you get into the photography?
So I was a painter, a really successful painter.
That's dope.
I was painting large scale portraiture, mainly African.
That's crazy.
Portraits.
And what'd you say? What's the highest you ever made from one?
Man, the highest I ever made once they took commission was like 5 G's, man. 5-6 G's, you know.
That's crazy.
But back then, you know, I was like 25, 26.
Wow.
You know, and that was good money, man. You know,
that's good. 5 stacks is decent now.
I ran through that like. You know,
I thought at the bar.
I thought I hit the. You know what I'm saying? I thought I hit the lotto. Like.
So now, how did that turn into photography?
Economy crashes 2008.
Okay. Yep. from the housing market bullshit.
Yeah. So like people weren't buying art anymore.
Oh, okay.
You know, unfortunately, art is a luxury.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Wow. Okay.
It's kind of like one of those luxuries for the elite.
Mm.
You know, and so because literally they're the only ones that can afford to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, and I always felt bad like selling my artwork for such big amounts of money, but for me it was like, I gotta eat. You know what I mean? I gotta make.
Trying to eat some steak over here.
Yeah, I gotta make more art. And like for me, it was like, if I sell my work, then that gives me the opportunity to buy more canvas, to buy more paint.
Don't feel bad about
rich
people. I mean, a lot of rich people, they don't even realize that how rich they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
A lot of them are wicked cheap too. I've noticed a lot of rich people like will never say like, yeah, I'm pretty rich. I swear to God, every rich person I know, like, I'm broke. Dude, what are you talking about? You have a mansion.
Yo, you know the funny thing is, man, is like now that I got a little bit of money in the bank, I'm actually like mad cheap, dude.
Yeah.
I just learned, like, you know what it is? It's like,
yeah, you got to hold on to it.
I came from like nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally came from nothing, man. And like, you know, so for me, it's like, I've never, like, I grew up being like a flashy dude. Like, you know what I mean? For me, it was always like rocking a Tommy, the Nautica. Everything had to be polo sport down. You know what I mean? And when I realized like clothing and what I'm wearing on the outside isn't making me a return. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I was spending all this money on like all the superficial stuff, but I was always broke. You know what I'm saying? And I had no money in the bank, but I wanted to front.
Like I got all polo, but
you know what I mean?
broke.
But I got no money. And so like that's like a mentality of a poor man. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like you can't blame somebody with that mentality because they don't know any better. You know, but like when you start educating yourself a little bit, right? You start investing in the right things. You know, when you invest in yourself, you're literally investing in like the best thing possible.
Oh, of course. Because
an investment in yourself could be like picking up a book. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or a book on business and educating yourself on how to like, you know, how to like invest your money, what CDs are. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And how to grow your money. Yeah. You know?
So now you got into photography basically because you were looking for a new hustle is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up as you know, my father was a photographer. Oh, shit. I still have the first camera he gave me. It was like from the 70s. Oh, wow. So I started with film. Okay. And, you know, so he gives me this camera. I was like 15, 16 years old, kind of just like, you know, dicking around a little bit, trying to teach myself photography. But when digital came out, I started the business in 2010. And, you know, I just needed something new, man. I needed, you know, I was kind of like racking my brain how I could, again, take the talent, right, and make a business out of it. You know, because like the idea, man, like there's so much opportunity out there for artists, for creatives, to sit back and watch other people get it. It's like you're a sucker for that. You know what I mean? So like, I thought to myself, like, damn, like why don't I want that? You know what I mean? And so I started putting out that energy to the universe. I told myself I wanted a studio, and so the way I saw it was, when I named the business, right, it was always to let studios. It was always plural, because I knew my 5-year, my 10-year plan was to have multiple studios.
Oh. Do you have multiple now? Or you just got the one now?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm working on it. So,
I mean, even the one you got is ridiculous. So, I mean, if you had two of those, like that would be.
It's been a lot. You know, it's been a lot of work, really man. Crazy. Like, you know, like.
Where were you before that one?
Before that, I was in a different building. It was still a dope studio. You know what I mean? Because, like, again, I've always invested in me. You know what I mean? I've always, like, when you grow a business, right, it's like growing a baby. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when you learn that now. When you have a baby, right, you have to feed it. You have to, like, put money into it. Sometimes that baby's going to keep you up. Sometimes that baby's going to make you sick. Sometimes that baby's going to act up, whatever it is, you know, but it's like you have to nurture it. You have to invest in it. And, like, you have to, like, almost take everything that you got within you to make it work. Yeah. That's why a lot of people can't make it. I saw this interview just recently and with Jay-Z.
Oh, you know, with who? David Letterman?
No. It wasn't with David Letterman. Oh, okay. He was actually, I think it was a podcast or something. Oh, wow. But he was talking about how being a hard worker and being successful like people only see the end product.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh,
they never see like the time and the money.
Yeah, the time
and,
you
like,
were
the energy
broke and you were
spent.
just grinding out.
Yeah, and he said, he's just like, as we're talking right now, Floyd Mayweather is probably running 13 miles.
Yeah.
But think about how true that is.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? People only look at somebody as successful as him, and they only see like the lifestyle that he lives, how much money he spends, the cars, the women, the mansions, all of that stuff. But they don't see the training that he puts in. They don't see all of the stuff that goes behind it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Unfortunately,
so, for me, it's like I work quietly, man. Like I do the work.
And why don't you tell the people, for the people that don't know what you do, what exactly it is that you do now?
So now I run, I run a photo and video studio. I was gifted with the opportunity to, I say gifted because none of this could happen without God. You know what I mean? But He gave me the opportunity to find this space, and we started renovating it about a year ago.
Oh, that was a year, huh?
Yeah, I had no windows, no electrical, nothing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? We put all that in, put in windows, electrical, plumbing, heating, all of that,
That's crazy.
But basically, I run a photo and video studio, and we have a variety of different photographers that, if you need like a family shoot, we can do that. You know what I mean? If we got a hip hop artist who needs a press package, we can do that. If we got a newborn that needs a shoot, we can do that. And the thing.
And if you're a sexy ass female and you want some sexy pictures,
that's what everybody knows the studio for, man. Like, we do put out some pretty edgy and sexy work.
Absolutely. And if you go on Instagram, it's Tillette Studios.
Yeah.
And you can see all his work, and everything's on it. But he definitely does do the sexiest shoots. He takes beautiful women, but he makes them more beautiful. Like the shoots, just the way you pose, the camera. I mean the lighting, the smoke, and all the effects you put on and stuff like that.
It's about what it is, man. It's about art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like people walk around, man, and they try to shame the female body. Like, you know what I mean? And like they try to make females feel bad for wanting to express themselves. Like if a woman wants to get naked for
naked.
Camera, like who am I in society to say to them like, yo, you can't do that?
That is true that we live in a weird ass society where they can't like breastfeed or like,
you know what I mean? Like that's a woman's body.
I think if they want to be topless in the summer, go ahead.
That's her personal space.
like whoever came up with that idea that how come we can and they can't?
Because it's people. You know what I mean? People tend to sexualize anything that has to do with women.
Is it like that in other countries though?
I can't speak on that. I know Brazil is really open minded in terms of like,
Brazilian chicks are hot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cultures out there with some really beautiful women. You know what I mean? But like the thing is, man, is it's like, I try to show people that there is a certain beauty in expressing your sexuality. You know what I mean? And when you do that in an artistic and a tasteful way, then people walk out of that studio, dude, with confidence.
Yeah. So when you do these shoots, like you said I can start, coming on a couple of them, but pause that. So when you do them, do you have to bring out the sexiness a lot? Like some of them, if someone come in there shy, you're like, oh man, I gotta really get it out of this one. You know what I mean?
It's like it's a certain comfort level, man. And like the thing is, man, is like, first and foremost, they're walking into an environment that's safe, that's clean.
Oh yeah, his studio is wicked dope. By the way, it's really really nice inside. I think that must be important coming into a very nice place, clean. Yeah, it looks super legit in there.
You gotta make sure that the client
is comfortable,
the model feels comfortable.
Yeah,
So when you have nice, first impression is everything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And you just gotta be like professional, man. Like that's it. Like professionalism is key.
Yeah.
You gotta treat people with respect. You gotta make them feel comfortable. And for the most part, man, people come to me because they already kind of have like an idea of what they want to do. You know what I mean? So if they feel and if they feel comfortable and confident, then the picture is going to be so much better.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, it's more about drawing that out. I tell a lot of jokes. I'm easy to get along with. You know what I mean?
Does some of your work ever make it into like magazines and stuff? Like some of these girls shooting for magazines right now?
Some girls get the stuff published. It's never been a personal goal of mine to get anything published. That's just me, man. Like I've never said to myself, yo, I want to get published. Like for me, it's like, kind of like, for me, this is a business. You know what I mean? So
you do weddings too?
I do weddings. Do wedding videos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we do a lot.
Speaking of videos, I played a song for you earlier that I did yesterday with my dude Flip Jackson. He made the beat. I laid it, and I'm gonna have my boy Knox Beats join a Lucas Token. I'm gonna have him mix it, and then I'm gonna have this guy do the video, and it's gonna be super duper sexy. I'm gonna need one of his models. I'm going to be looking at a bunch of you and picking a few to talk to that would be interested in it, but it's going to be very sexy. It's a club banger. I'm going to get myself shredded up before we do the shoot, and this guy is the best, so it's going to be so dope. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so weddings and what else?
Just weddings, videos, music videos.
You want to do more music videos? Is that something you want people to contact you about? I mean, depending on what it is and stuff like that.
Depending on what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because if they want you to shoot like a trap video in the hood, like
like I'm not.
Yo, come to my hood, right? We're gonna be on the block pitching them things.
It's nothing against that, like you know what I mean. But there's a certain limitation to what I'm willing, in what situations I'm willing to put myself in. As a professional, you know what I mean?
I would say if you're a local artist and you want to do something like sexy with females or towards females, then I would say go to him. I would say he's got a bunch of really, really hot models. They're all really cool too. Shout out to all of them. And I would say definitely go to you for that.
Yeah, man. Like, that's the thing, man. It's just like, not only have I got the opportunity to like work with beautiful people on the exterior, man, but I get to meet some really like awesome people. You know what I mean? That are just like really beautiful on the inside.
I heard you met this this DJ artist
no doubt.
Recently. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
DJ Benny Bladez, what up?
No,
but shout out to Castro the other night. He was there. That's a dude I know.
That's my man. Yo, what up, Cass?
He's a good dude. And the speech you gave, I know I recorded it on live, some of it, but that shit was mad emotional when you were doing it. And I was looking down when you were doing it, and like, people were like fucking going nuts, like really emotional over it. And now,
because you know what it is, man. It's like people know my story, man. Like people know I've lived. They're gonna know I've been to now. I've been through hell and back, man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And let me just say real quick, if you could give advice to, say there's like a 13-year-old dude or girl watching that's either interested in modeling or being an artist or being a photographer or videographer or anything, if you could give that person advice, what would you say?
Yo, if I were to give anybody advice, is like, always protect your own best interest. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a talent, you have to protect it.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, when you have talent, man, and you know this.
Oh, don't let no one exploit you
or take advantage of that.
Okay.
Because when people find out that you can do something, everybody wants something from
so
you.
Learn. So you're saying learn business.
Learn business
as quick as you can.
You can have as much talent as you want in the world, but if you don't have the hustle, you don't have the drive,
you get taken advantage of.
And you don't know jack about business, then you're never gonna make it. And connected to that is don't give up.
Don't
what I mean?
That's what.
Be willing.
Talk about that. How like you didn't give up and like that. I mean, there must have been a moment. There must have been like a moment you can pinpoint where you were like, "What am I done or do I keep going?" There's always that one.
Honestly, man, like when I quit drinking, man, I found my place in God. Like, you know what I mean?
Nice.
And as corny as that sounds to some people,
shout out to God.
I don't really. I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't read the Bible.
But I think it's all about having faith.
I know that deep inside of me, like, for me at least, I know that God exists. In my life. You know what I mean? And I respect other people's views, but I'm just speaking for myself. You know what I mean? When I decided to change my life around and get out of the negativity, that was like my opportunity for me to like almost reinvent myself. You know, so I stopped creating art for like 3 years. You know what I mean?
What were you doing?
Getting myself together, man.
Oh wow.
You know, trying to reinvent.
Were you working though?
Yeah, I was working. I was exercising a lot. You know what I mean? I was just trying to get myself like on track with being like a decent human being.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
and so
big.
When you and the thing is man, it's just like when you build a better quality you naturally start attracting better quality people towards you.
Oh yeah, I'm
you
sure.
know what I mean? And so for me, it's like
Yeah.
I don't care what somebody's background is. You know, sometimes if they really repent and like they really like, you know, work at becoming a better quality person, you know, and they do the work. You know what I mean? It's like that's it, man. It's just like I don't stop working. You know, like
I feel like the company you keep is huge. Like if you surround yourself with mutts, then you're gonna be a mutt.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with people that are doing positive stuff or more successful than you, then they can push you to get there too. That's what I'm.
I mean, you think about it like this, man. You know, and the old head said this to me. You know that I just like randomly ran into this old head one day, and you know, we got to talking, man, and the dude was just like dropping it on me. And he said, he's like, you know, steal, shop, and steal. You know what I mean? And so when you hang around dull blades, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna be dull too. So if you hang around people and you surround yourself with people who are
You gotta
sharp,
hang around with Benny blades,
you know what
not
I mean?
dull
like
blades.
when they're sharp, like, you know what I mean, and like you keep each other sharp.
Yeah,
I don't,
definitely.
you know, like I'll give you an example, man. My man Castro, I trust that man with my life, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Castro's
And
a good
like,
dude.
you know, and the reason I say that is because he's proven to me that he's got a genuine soul, like, you know what I mean? He's a genuine person. But like, yo, whenever he goes like a month or like a few weeks without hitting me up, or I don't see him at the studio because he's a member at the studio, yo, I have no shame in hitting him up. Like, yo, what's good? Get your ass in the studio, be like, you know what I mean? Like, what you doing? What are you writing? You know, fucking statuses on Facebook for when you should be like with the Sony in hand making videos. You know what I mean? And like,
he's a member there. What do you mean? What does he do?
So he shoots music videos out of the studio.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I remember when he was doing a lot of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's done some dope videos out of there.
Yeah. All right. I remember that. That's cool.
You know, but that's the thing, man. It's just like you surround yourself with people who, you know, and that's true friendship. You know, when you can when you got people around you who are willing to call you out on your mistakes and your bullshit, and they want to help you grow, you know what I mean? And then it's just like because you could have a bunch of yes men around you.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You know, yeah.
That's why Eminem's new album was trash, because he's surrounded by yes men that don't check him. The best rapper ever like put out a trash album. Like that's just a prime example of being surrounded by yes men and
you want people
not realizing you're.
That's what I mean,
you're
man.
falling off.
You want people who can challenge you. You want people who like are gonna call
that
you
check
out.
you, what was that?
That's what I mean.
What was that thing you just did?
It's like it's like even now, man. Like my girl, man. She like she checks me, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
and like
that.
it's just like.
Especially with a girl, yeah, you definitely.
Well, when you know something, man. When I was a weak man, dude, I couldn't handle having a strong woman. You know what I mean? When I was a weak man, I used to like get off on like finding like weak women that I could like walk all over. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Vulnerable chicks.
For real. It's like I don't even lie about it. You know what I mean? But now that I like, now that I'm stronger and like I know the kind of partner that I want in my life, it's just like I don't want no scumbag chick.
Yeah, because that's why I'm single right now. Because I want to be part of a power couple, like a girl that's matching me. Like you think I'm flying, I'm doing my thing, and my girl is even more. Or just as much, you know what I mean?
Because the thing is, man, is just like your partner, your friends, all of that stuff, man, is a direct reflection of you and how you feel about yourself on the inside.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So anytime you trash talk somebody, anytime you try to bring other people down, it's like that's a reflection of how you feel on the inside.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's just like I let people do what they do. I supports the new movement. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you got something going on and I could help you in some way and I could get involved because I got resources.
The proof is that you're here right now.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
That's the thing, man. I always told myself, man, when I had the capacity to help other people out, then I would.
That's how I feel too. Like if I was able to make it as like a big time DJ or an artist, like I would never like shy away from where I was from. I'd always want to come back here and do something positive out here. You know what I mean? I feel like too many people don't do that. They make it big and they're just like, whatever. Like, I'd come right back in Prov and do something. Like, I'd go right in the hood and,
you know what I mean? Like, you see
me,
man, like, you know, like, I try to promote positivity, man. I show nothing but love to people. You know what I mean? I don't trash talk. I don't get involved in any of that nonsense, man. First of all, I'm too old for that shit. You know, and like, second of all, people who are making moves, empowered people empower other people. You know what I mean? And so that's my thing, man. It's like, I know that if I'm empowered, I want to empower other people to do the same.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? And so for me, it's just like, now that I actually have some kind of resources where I could help other people. You know, I've had photographers come to me and say, like, yo, like, I'm just getting started, blah, blah, blah. You know, can I be part of the studio? And then it's like, all right, boom, let me give you a shot. You know, but now they're doing great. You know what I mean? And they've grown with us, you know, a year later, 2 years later, and now their business is like, you know, booming. You know what I mean?
That's dope. All right, well, we gotta wrap this up. Is there any last things you want to talk about? Any last things you want to give, like little bits of just nuggets for? I think really for the people, like the younger you, if he was watching this, like, yo, if you could kick it to that kid for a minute and just be like,
if I could sit down and kick it with the younger me, man, I would say it's like, you gotta respect yourself. You gotta surround yourself with the right people. And you gotta work hard and not give up. You know what I mean? Like, if all you gotta do is work, and just, if you have a vision, if you got a dream, chase that shit. Nice. Sometimes you might fall, your knees might get scraped up, you're gonna get scars and all that stuff. But yo, that's how you develop character. Yeah, that's, you know what I mean? You gotta have a thick skin and just keep working, keep going, and that's it. You know what I mean? Don't give up.
That's dope. All right, man. I really appreciate you coming on.
Man. No doubt.
I be spinning at Amadeo's Lounge in Cranston every Friday night. Next week, we're gonna have on my boy Delon Jones. He's the New England Muay Thai amateur heavyweight champion. He's 4-0, holding a belt right now. He's gonna eventually get up in that UFC. And he's going to try to fight John Jones, I think, one day. It's going to be Jones versus Jones. Mark my words.
Yeah, he's coming for his press package.
Oh, yeah. You said that's dope.
Come up with the L photos.
You can I'll say where you can follow me, and then you can follow me at DJ Benny Bladez on Instagram, Snapchat, Benny Bladez NE, Facebook is Ben Cardoza, and then tell them where they can follow you at.
You can follow me on Insta at Talet_studios. And then Facebook, just Talet Studios.
All right, we'll see you next week. Stay positive. Life's short. Be as happy as possible every day.
No doubt. Smile, bitches.